end of the string in the middle. Isn't that cute? So we can find some little bits or punch some stuff and do that. What about just some little circles? It's a little bland. How much time we have? Oh, I gotta cut it off. Okay, you guys, I will be back very soon and we will get right back into working on our junk journal. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, hey guys, it's Haley and I am back. I actually had filmed this before and I didn't really get anything done, and it took up all the time. So I started it over. All I did while, in between the last video, which, by the way, I'm sorry it cut off. It split into 2 videos and it was only another minute. I didn't change anything else. It was just me saying bye. So, yeah. After the glue dried, it dried all afternoon, I came in here and just sewed randomly on it to try and catch, the pieces. And then, what I had done in the last video, I decided I wanted this, which is from this 7 Gypsies kit. It was just a cut apart, and this kit has the large journal, which is where this little booklet was from. Either I copied it and made this little booklet, or more probably printed it offline naughtily. But I did actually buy the real thing, so they still got money from me. So I don't feel as bad, but still don't do that. And so it's a cut apart from this 7 Gypsies thing. And I backed it with a little of this like metallic paper just to make it stand out. And I'm trying to figure out what else to do. Let me show you. Where's the rest of that paper? These were the other sheets, and I believe they were scraps that I saved from the swap or cut off a piece for myself. But I used this like pearly white, and then I went over with a little bit of antique linen, the distress ink, and I also did distress ink antique linen on this before I put it on there with a little bit of tea dye distress ink. There we go. You guys, my recall is not, I don't know, something's going on. I'm having some trouble. But I want to continue and get this done and start on our little booklet for the second pocket. We have one in here. This little booklet we made in one of the last Craft With Me's with our little ink dyed and watercolor dyed paper and scrappities. This is just a piece of trim. So we have this side with a pocket. Ooh, and we need this side with a pocket. This side of the pocket with a booklet. We need a booklet for this one. And I want that to go in it. I didn't pull out a whole ton of more stuff to use. Oh, I need to move that. Except for some of the tea dye, the stuff that I had tea dyed, and I went through my little box. This is where I keep all of my either actually aged and, like dyed paper, or ones that I've dyed myself, or inked up, anything that's ready, any scraps or bits that are ready to go in a vintage journal. And I'm going to get like a larger thing to keep like my tags in with these and the photo, and then just keep the scraps in here. But between the stuff I tea dyed the other day and that box with some coffee dyed bits and old tea dye bits, look at that, it's a 7 Gypsies. I believe Amber sent those from Lyric Lover 810. This is a scrap of the paper, one of the papers from the journal that I tea dyed. And this, I had painted with one of those cheapy watercolors, just seeing what would work. And I'm basing like the color palette of this off of this page and the cover colors. So this has a tiny bit of green and teal, this like buttermilk yellow, and then there's some of these almost like blue black, and this like red brown. So that's where I pulled the colors in from. We've got some layering pieces. This is where I had like stamped off, but it's on plain white paper. So it is alcohol ink, and it should be fine to spray with coffee that's water-based. But yeah. So that's the idea. And then of course I want this cheesecloth, my Halloween cheesecloth, I want it like more loose and not stuck down. But it's not really like enough to make this pop on its own, I don't think. What do you guys think? Should I stick with it like this and move on, or add something else? Maybe a little tiny embellishment. Maybe I could hang a little tag off of this. Maybe. Let's see. What is this? This was a really old printable. Here is that K & Company ephemera pack that I showed you. I'm going to move these. Oh, this is what I want to do. Okay, this little whatever I was going to do with this, I have no idea, but it fits the inside of the back perfectly. And I was thinking of taking a piece of paper that's exactly this width, but as long as this, and sewing it or attaching it on the inside so it will be the same size as this, and we can decorate that. Then that will make, I won't adhere the top down, so it will have a pocket. Let me show you. Okay, so say it's a piece of paper and it's like this, and it's long enough to go down here. I will glue along the edges, but not right here on the back, so that it will create its own little pocket back here, and we will have this large blank space to decorate this. And if we want, we can sew the whole thing closed so that this will be its own pocket right here as well. And I was thinking of making like a flip out. So, and yeah, that's what I want to do with this. I'm dropping stuff. Anyway, we have some of this paper. I love this. This was totally worth the investment. These pads come with like 4 in a pack at the Dollar Tree. Let's see if we've got any like blues or greens in here. Look at that paper. To add some dimension. I initially wanted things like kind of tucked in and coming out of, but I don't know about all that anymore. All right, I'm gonna go with this for now. I'm only gonna glue down the cheesecloth under this, and then we can start on our booklet if we want to add more later. Actually, I'm not even gonna glue it down. I'm gonna keep it like this. If we find something else along the way, have another idea, we can add that. If not, then it can just be like this. This is what I had pulled out earlier to get like a whole piece of that. But anyway, I'm going to set this over here and let us figure out what we'd like to do with our booklet. So I think that I should coffee dye this really quick, the inside, and use my heat gun and dry it really fast, and then we can go around the edges with ink and alter it. But before I do that, I want to see what other pages we want to add, so if those need to be coffee dyed, I can do it all at once. I'm mean, look how cool this is. And actually, like, it's made so if you wanted to make a thick book, like with the big one, you could. So anyway, that's really cool. This, I'm going to say that would almost look cool adhered to the back, flipped out. We could make one of those and adhere it down here. That could be a flip out. Let us see. These are my classic, my fave. Ow, beach. Sorry. A heavyweight, like computer weight paper. I'm sorry. I usually don't talk like that on my channel. Heavyweight computer weight paper. It's really nice. But it's nice and smooth. I have a couple of these coffee dyed. Alright, I meant tea dyed, but I went through and grabbed, I had made 3 of these, tea dyed 3 of them. And obviously, we can cut them down. And, let's see. We could do like, that's almost too neat, but we could do like a pamphlet stitch and tie it off in the middle and then glue this together and it would look like a real book with no strings. But I still want it nice and grungy and strings everywhere, so that's just an idea for you guys. You can, for your little booklets, whatever, signatures, if you do a pamphlet stitch, you can tie it on the inside and adhere together the 2 most center sheets of paper. So we need to decide if we want to use all 3 of these, or we can add in bits. Like this actually is one of the pages from the journal. This is some of that paper, just like I sent you guys. I saved some pieces for myself. I really like it. And there's notebook paper. This is the perfect size too. I think what we could do, because we don't want it too thick. Okay, so it's going to be double thickness if we use all. I was going to say I could cut this in half. That would be about the perfect size, but so that's how thick it's going to be. Let me do that. All right, I'm going to cut this in half. I brought my mini trimmer in here. I'm not worried about it being totally exact because I want to fray the edges in some way. Whether we use our torn paper scissors or whatever. Here, I'll just fold it in half and then no measuring involved because this doesn't have a flip out ruler on it. It actually is able to go in a binder. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think I would want like this on an outside page, like the first page, and then this to be like the center of it. So we could do actually 4 sheets and then this with the 5th, you know? So it'll be like that. And I'm going to cut these down as well. What do we think? I think I like that. All right, let me grab these, our faves, and I'm going to cut off, go ahead and cut it off with these scissors so that I want it to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of each end. Oh, you got to have them the right way. These are like left-handed scissors almost. Okay. Yeah, I don't bigger than that. And these are tea-dyed scraps with little torn bits. Don't throw them away. Perfect tuck pieces. Peeking out, tucked behind stuff. You've already done the tea dyeing work. Don't throw it out. I'm going to cut over the trash can over here. 1 second. All right. Went ahead and cut around the edges messily, and I did it really close to not take much off, and it actually makes it more uneven, so I'm fine with that. I'm going to go ahead and just fold these over individually, just so, you know, we do the best for each page. I don't care if that's a little bit crooked because it's a messy little booklet. All right. What do we think about that? This might have to be the outside page if it's all... unless we kind of do these on different levels so that they match. Do you know what I mean? Like have these stick out a little bit and be off so that this page won't look so big compared to the rest, you know? No, that's corny. Should we save this for something else and make a little opening thing and add one of these? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make this its own thing. If we had another 1 or 2 pages to go with that, maybe. But yeah, I think I'm going to... What if I adhered that down and just inked around this edge and still added 1 more of these? Got 'em. All right, let's do this. Don't you think that'll be cool? We'll go and ink around the edges, especially right over here. We don't need this water accident waiting to happen. All right. So yeah, we'll do a lot of inky ink over here, but of course all around the edges, so it won't be white. We won't need to coffee dye and wait for that mess. It's going good. All right, doesn't have to be symmetrical that I cut off, but I just want it the same size, roughly. Yeah, no. You know, flow. All right, right about there. Now I'm going to go cut the tops. Okay, now that we did all that, I have a whole nother thing. Yeah. I think these are too small to add. Don't you think? But let's make a booklet out of these. We will adhere them down to something and then put them back to back. You know what I mean? So the pages will be ledger front to back. Oh, yeah. Okay. What do we think about that? I'm happy. How are you guys feeling? And then, you know, I can sew this down the middle. I don't think it's going to be too thick. If not, we'll do a pamphlet stitch. Either way, it's gonna look good. And we're gonna use the dark. This I ordered Shop Miss A, and it's actually a very high quality sponge. And they have certain items on there, like you pay like 20 cents more and it has like a little dog showing, and they donate that money to a shelter. So anyway, it's on those specific items. They will do it on like really popular items so that they will, those are the things that sell well, obviously. And it will make the most money for the shelter. Like kind of messy, but also really dark on those edges. What do you guys think of this little journal so far? Do you like working on it together? I mean, is it boring just hearing me yap on? A little smearage. Ooh, there's a lot of smearage. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah. Got him. Okay. Do I need to, like, trim that edge? I think I will do that once it's adhered down, and I'll take my fussy cutting scissors, and if, like, there's a little bit... Actually, what am I doing? I'll just ink it, and no one will notice. Just the very edges. That way, if it sticks out on the other side just a tad, it's just more messiness. Ta-da! Now we need to get the glue in. We using the tacky glue. All right. Now the decision is, should I sew this together first and then adhere these together so that we know it's... No, we can adhere it now. That's okay. Let's see how we doing. Why does that look more green on this one? Doesn't it look more green to you? I don't know. Did I use... No? Whatever. Whatever. Alright. I had stopped using the Eileen's for a while. I still really like it. It's not that it doesn't work well, and it's great because you can like reposition it. It's just... Come on, Ailey. That once you move it, if you move it around and a little comes out, it's just stickiness everywhere. And generally, I would like to go over like with a bone folder and scoot everything out so it gets all to the edges, but I don't want it seeping out to the edge. I think I did about the right amount though, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay. No, not bad at all. It's that little bit right here. I'm pretty happy with this. What do you guys think of this? I think this is a cool little book. You know, you could even make this exactly yourself. Anyway, now the decision. Sewing with the sewing machine or a pamphlet stitch. And we can have, you know, what I always like to do when I made pretty much this, my flip books exactly like this with a pamphlet stitch, and I'd have the 2 strings hanging out, I would put 2 die cuts back to back, almost like a little paper charm on the end. But we could do something like that. So let me go grab my awl, and we'll just pamphlet stitch this thing. All right. Now, I'm not too worried about them, like, oh, they need to be centered and this has to go there and yada yada, but I do want to kind of, you know, arrange them a little bit so that they're mostly uniform. And then do the center one. There we go. And then if it was on a larger book, I would come down like a full inch from the edge. But I'm gonna do it about right here on this one. Yeah. And then, let's see. I should have measured because these aren't even, but you know, we're trying to get going with these. Now we need some embroidery floss, and I kind of want to do something messy. I guess we'll do a plain old cream. Oh, this is almost like that green tint, and look, it matches that butterfly. That's pretty good, huh, guys? I have my embroidery stuff, and I know I have more, and it was in a different bag. I think it came out, some of it came out, but this is like my little tatting kit. Tatting is like crocheting, but with smaller thread with embroidery floss. So, yeah. Now, I don't think this whole thing is going to fit through here. Even if I get one of those threader things, maybe then. All right, I'm more worried that it's just going to pull the wire out of this, but we'll try. Also, I found a broken one and this vintage paper tape. Measuring tape, and that's gonna look bangarang in a little, you know, sewing themed page, or maybe even a little booklet with some of that pattern, you know, like the tissue paper pattern stuff. It's gonna be great. Okay, let's see. Oh wait, duh. My big fat finger's in the way. And yeah. Yeah, it's too big. I'm going to have to essentially, let's see, how long will I want it? This is probably long enough. Yeah, definitely. So, often when you're like doing embroidery, it requires you to use only a certain amount of strands. So it's actually not that hard to take them apart, and I believe there's 6 in here per, yeah. There's 6 strands, and I'm going to try and do 3. Because I want it to be, you know, relatively strong enough. All right. Let's see. All right. We good. And I'm not going to tie a knot at the end because I want to tie them together once we get it through. Now, gotta line all this stuff back up. All right. Now, if you had been smart, which I used to do this, I don't know why I didn't just do it now, I guess because it was small, but if you clip it like while you're punching the holes or right after, then you won't have to do what I just did and go through it. Okay, pamphlet stitch. In the middle, all right, pull through, leave a tail out, or you can tie a knot like part of the way up or at the end, however you want it. I want that to be a little shorter. Okay. In the center, out one of the side holes. In the opposite side hole. Oops. And then back out through the middle. And that is a pamphlet stitch. Simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now I try not to see, I want it to go around that center strand. So see which one is longer and pull the shorter one taut. I do want them one slightly longer than the other, so this is fine. Now, see how each string is on either side of this? You don't have to do this, but I like to tie my little knot around that. And I just do a regular double knot. Nothing fancy. And then you can, like I said, how I did a die cut on either side, I'll show you an example. I used this size heart all the time. So I would take like one of these little hearts, or 2 of these little hearts, and glue them end of the string in the middle. Isn't that cute? So we can find some little bits or punch some stuff and do that. What about just some little circles? It's a little bland. How much time we have? Oh, I gotta cut it off. Okay, you guys, I will be back very soon and we will get right back into working on our junk journal. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.